They fucked up, okay? Technically speaking, they have not lied a single time when they've been giving interviews last year about Steven Moffat and his involvement in Doctor Who. They did say there would be Doctor Who airing on TV, and they did say he wasn't leaving yet, but they also said he was very busy involving himself with Sherlock and probably some other writing projects. Now, I don't hate Steven Moffat, I really don't. If you've watched any of the other Doctor Who exactlies I've done, you'll see I'm actually quite raving mad when I'm just coming off the high of an episode, most of the time. And especially with Heaven Sent and Hell Bent, and the Husbands of River Song. Maybe it's just Peter Capaldi that blows me out of the water, but come on, he has to work with some writing. And The Day of the Doctor is such a lovely, multi-layered anniversary story. I couldn't shower praise more, but this is just rubbish. So if you don't know the drill, 2016 will not see any new episodes of Doctor Who aside from the Christmas episode. So it's now January, and ever since Moffat came on board, aside from Series 5 and the last two series, they've been very... Oh no, even involving the last two series, they've been very haphazard in where they were being placed, like in what part of the year, what time slots, and Series 6 and 7 were split apart as well, with a hiatus of several months in between. And in my opinion, those didn't do those series any good. Steven Moffat is too busy doing Sherlock, which starts filming later this year, and which airs next year, 2017, I think, on January 1st again, just like just like The Abominable Bride and the previous installment of The Empty Hearse. That's it. Sometimes I just stall for time. So Steven Moffat is leaving. I think it's a good thing. Like I said, don't hate Steven Moffat, but he's done series 5 to 10 then, so he's done 6 years. In practice, it's probably more 7 or 8 years, because the split series. I think it's a good thing for him to leave, because it will make the series a bit more fresh again. Sure, Peter Capaldi brought a new air to it that Matt Smith didn't have, but Matt Smith might have been more a fairy tale interpretation of what Doctor Who might be like. He was the magical man who came by and whisked people away in his box, whereas the David Tennant and Christopher Eccleston Doctor incarnations were a bit more down to earth, because that's the way Russell T Davies liked to write it. So Steven Moffat leaving, good thing. I hope he'll pop back every now and then to write an episode, because most of my favourite episodes of Steven Moffat are still from when he was under Russell T Davies. I know that sounds terribly elitist and hipster, but seriously, look at Silence in the Library and The Forest of the Dead. Those are still my favourite. Yeah, those are my favourite 2 Moffat episodes, I think. Maybe Heaven Sent, Hellbent. Heaven Sent is just so fucking good. So Moffat is being replaced by Chris Chibnall. How do you pronounce that name? Chibnall. I'm very horrible that I know how these people are called, but I don't know how to pronounce their names. Neil Gaiman, Neil Gaiman, Neil Cayman, crocodile subspecies. Paul Colonel. So, yeah, he is a Doctor Who writer. Not too big on his episodes. Well, not that they are bad episodes. He wrote 42. He wrote The Hungry Earth and Cold Blood. He wrote Dinosaurs on a Spaceship. He co-created Torchwood, or he was the project runner. And Torchwood is a whole new kettle of fish. Series 1 of Torchwood is... It's just like, look at how edgy and sexy we can be. And I think it didn't really hit its stride until Series 2. And that's when they retooled it and made it an event series, which stopped after Miracle Day. But yeah, what you're going to do about that? And more importantly, Chris Chibnall made both Life on Mars, which is a fantastic hit series, involving John Sim. If you haven't heard of it, John Sim played the Master on Doctor Who, played a time-displaced agent from 2000, and I think the series aired in 2006. So, and he gets shunted back to 1976, I think. This is out of the top of my head. I don't prepare these things very well, do I? And he made Broadchurch. And Series 1 of Broadchurch is another one I absolutely love. The concept of a little town being shook up by a single murder, well, a murder of a child, of course, but everybody having secrets, and none of them are actually related to the child's murder, but it's just great. It's just great storytelling. Series 2, maybe not so much. So Chris Chibnall is doing another series of Broadchurch, Moffat is doing another series of Doctor Who, and then Mr. Chris is going to be showrunner in 2018. So we're not going to have anything until Christmas Day. So what am I going to do with my life? Oh, maybe work. Like an actual proper job. This still bothers me quite a bit. I feel like they should have, they could have, they probably might have been able to get a different runner for the series earlier, but these things, they probably had their eyes set on Chris Chibnall from the start, from the get-go. So they knew he had to finish off Broadchurch 3 before he could start up with Doctor Who. So I think Moffat might have just stayed on for necessity. Oh well. Closing thoughts. Looking forward to the recap, actually. Good thing that Moffat is leaving. Too bad he's leaving, but you know, you can't do one thing forever. Chris Chibnall, not bad episodes, but I hope he'll bring a bit of new, fresh blood to the concept of Who. I just wish we wouldn't have to fucking wait that long. I shouldn't be drinking coffee with liqueur at 7 in the morning. Yeah. Oh, by the way, wouldn't it have been better if Husbands of River Song would have been the last episode? Then you'd have Silence in the Library to Husbands of River Song, one gigantic, one big thing that spans across your entire body of work of one single show you've done. That would have been lovely, in my opinion.